Have you recently started experimenting with cold exposure and cold therapy, or just curious but aren't sure where to start? Well, you've come to the right place. In today's video, we are going to break down all the options you have, dive into the mindset you exactly need, and the methodology to do it with maximum ease and safely, allowing you to get on this transformative journey just like I did. Hello everyone, for those of you who are new to this channel, welcome aboard. Here at Ice Mind Body, our mission is to construct the most extensive and informative video library on cold exposure and cold therapy. Our goal is to empower our audience to embark on and advance in their health journey. Now, let's dive right into the world of cold exposure, where there are two main categories: partial exposure, like taking a refreshing cold shower, and full immersion. Before we get too deep with cold shower, I would mention that I've already covered the topic of cold shower versus cold plunge in a previous video. I've left a link in the video description, so if you are curious about the nitty-gritty details, make sure to check that out after this video. But for now, let's talk about the basics. If you are fortunate enough to live in a place with naturally icy cold water and you happen to enjoy taking cold showers, well, keep doing your thing. Cold showers can be a great way to start your cold exposure journey. However, full immersion might be where the magic truly happens. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, isn't full immersion way tougher? Surprisingly, it might not be as daunting as it sounds. See, cold showers have a way of teasing you as you dance around under the icy water. It's like a constant game of dodge the cold. But with full immersion, you're all in. No games, no escape. And here's the twist. I personally find it more satisfying and, believe it or not, somewhat easier. Why, you may ask? Well, when you're submerged, you have no choice but to embrace the cold. And that's what I love about it. So if you have given cold showers a shot and found them to be more of a chilly tease than a satisfying experience, don't give up just yet. Give the cold plunge a chance and you might be pleasantly surprised. Remember, it's all about finding what works best for you and your journey to better health and vitality. Now let's see what options you would have if you wanted to get into cold immersion. If you happen to be in a cold climate, all you need to do is to grab yourself a barrel or a plastic top and leave it outside overnight. It's like having your own personal cold plunge ready to go whenever you want. To make sure you're diving into the right kind of cold, grab a thermometer. Ideally, you're looking for temperatures ranging from 3-4 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees. That's 37 degrees Fahrenheit to 60 degrees. Anything above that might not give you the full cold therapy experience. Or you can simply fill up your bathtub with cold water and take the plunge. I used to live in Scotland, and let me tell you, even in summer, water was more than cold enough. Sometimes you might need to drop the water temperature a notch or two for that extra refreshing kick. Now, there are a few ways to do this, and people get creative with it. Some folks opt for the convenience of buying bags of ice from the supermarket. Others invest in an ice machine, and there are those who fill up the containers and Tupperware with water and keep them in the freezer overnight. But hold on a second. Here is the reality check. If you're living in a warm place like where I live in the UAE, where the cold water temperature can easily hover around the 37 degrees Celsius, that's 97 degrees Fahrenheit, you might need more ice than you think. It could take buckets and buckets of ice just to cool down your water. So while the ice idea sounds simple, it might not be the most practical choice for regular plungers in hot climate. If you're fortunate enough to have access to cold water lake, then you're in for a fantastic experience, much like the tradition in the Scandinavian countries. However, I can't emphasize enough the importance of safety when taking the plunge in open water. It's crucial to always have a buddy with you, whether a friend or a family member. Especially during that initial shock, when the cold water hits, it can be overwhelming and potentially dangerous, increasing the risk of drowning. Now, for those of us who might not have easy access to a pristine cold water lake, there is another option that I personally found quite effective. Using a public spa or facility. I began my cold exposure journey at my local gym, which had an excellent cold plunge with water maintained at around 9 degrees Celsius, 48 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature is cold enough to receive all the incredible benefits of cold exposure. One of the fantastic aspects of using a public spa or gym is that you often have access to a sauna or steam room, which can enhance the entire experience. After your cold plunge, stepping into the warmth of a sauna or soothing mist of a steam room is incredibly refreshing and satisfying. It not only helps your body recover, but also adds a delightful contrast to cold therapy. Now, let's talk about the ultimate option for hardcore exposure enthusiasts out there: having your own cold plunge and chiller. This, I believe, takes your cold therapy game to a whole new level, giving you complete control over the temperature, timing, and scheduling. One of the major perks of owning a cold plunge and chiller is the convenience factor. No more worrying about emptying and filling the tub every time you want to take a plunge. Many of these systems come equipped with top-notch filtration, ensuring that the water remains clean and crystal clear for extended periods. In fact, with proper maintenance, you might only need to change the water every 6 to 12 months. That's a game changer in terms of the time and effort saved. Now, I have to admit these systems can be a bit on the pricier side. However, if you live in a place with a relatively warm climate and you're committed to regular exposure, it's worth considering the investment. Think about it. The cost of buying ice or the hassle of making ice and constantly filling and emptying your tub can add up over time. Your own very cold plunge and chiller can be a cost-effective option in the long run. As for my old cold plunge, I use TechWave, which is available for delivery in the UAE and Middle East. Now let's dive right into the essential steps for starting cold immersion the right way. If you have just started, you most likely don't have control over the plunge's temperature, and you don't really need to stress too much about it. However, as a general guideline, I recommend aiming for temperature ranging from 9 to 12 degrees Celsius, which is 48 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. This range offers a good balance of challenge and comfort for the newcomers. But here is the most crucial piece of advice. Regardless of the temperature, the key is to take the plunge. The water should be cold enough that it makes you want to get out during those initial few seconds. That initial shock is where the magic happens, where your body begins to adapt and you start receiving the incredible benefits of cold exposure. Now, if you do have control over the plunge's temperature, I have already covered the topic in detail in a previous video, for which I will leave a link in the description. Remember, the most important thing is to start and build consistency. Over time, your body will adjust and you will discover your own comfort zone within the cold. So don't overthink it. Just take the plunge and begin your exposure journey. Next, and the most important, is the mindset. The main step in embracing cold exposure properly is to cultivate the right mindset. Throughout our lives, we've been conditioned to believe that we should shield ourselves from the cold, associating it with discomfort and potential to make us sick. In essence, we have demonized the cold, but it's time for a paradigm shift. I'll admit I used to be no different. Cold water wasn't my cup of tea. If the pool or ocean water was a bit chilly, I'd often skip it. I must say, I did do a lot of scuba diving in Scotland in chilly water, but that was always in the dry suit. With the dry suit, apart from the hands and face, the rest of the body remained comfortably warm. Anyhow, since I began experiencing the incredible benefits of cold water exposure, my relationship with cold has undergone a complete transformation. And that's precisely what you need to do. Reverse your perception and understand that the cold is here to help you, not to harm you. It's a powerful tool in your arsenal for achieving optimum physical and mental health. Think of the cold as a friend, a challenging but supportive ally on your journey to better well-being. So let go of the fear, change your mindset, and believe that the cold is your partner in the quest for healthier, happier you. It's basically time to rewrite your relationship with cold. Before we continue, if you're as passionate as I am about cold exposure, hit that like and subscribe button. This is a new channel, and I'm committed to building the most comprehensive library on cold exposure and cold therapy, where I will be sharing all my knowledge and experience. Now let's delve into the crucial aspect of breathing when it comes to cold exposure. Before you take the plunge, it's essential to prepare your body and mind with the right breathing technique. This can make a significant difference in your experience. Begin by taking a few deep and slow breaths, focusing especially on the exhale. This deliberate breathing triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you stay calm and composed. Here is what I personally do right before entering the cold water. I take a deep, full breath, and as I sink into the water, I exhale slowly. Then I maintain the rhythm of deep inhalation and gentle, extended exhalations. It's also helpful to shift your perspective regarding the cold. Instead of perceiving it as something that is making you uncomfortably cold, think of it as a sensation of something that only stings your skin slightly. This shift in mindset can make it easier to relax into the experience. Closing your eyes and focusing on your breath can further calm your reflexes and aid in embracing the cold. Now, regarding timing, aim to stay in the cold water until the initial shock and fear subside. This might take about 30 seconds, a minute, or even more. Trust me, this approach will leave you with much more positive and memorable experience compared to panicking and rushing out in the beginning. Specifically on this topic, I encourage you to share your own cold exposure rituals and techniques in the comment section. Your insights and experience can be incredibly valuable to others on their cold exposure journey. Setting yourself a post-immersion reward can make the whole experience more fun and motivating. For me, the ultimate reward after a cold plunge is stepping into the sauna, feeling the comforting heat over my frozen skin. It's an incredible contrast and adds a whole new dimension to the experience. However, your reward doesn't have to be limited to this. It could also be something as simple as a nice warm bath or a hot shower. The key is to create an overall positive experience that leaves you looking forward to your next cold immersion session. Regardless of the reward you choose, it's crucial to ensure a safe and effective warm-up, especially if you plan to stay in the cold water for an extended period. For shorter dips, a little bit of physical activity can help warm you up quickly and gets your blood flowing. However, for longer stays, it's essential to have a more robust warm-up routine to prevent any discomfort or potential issues. During the initial few weeks of your cold exposure journey, it's good to set specific goals to push yourself, even on days when you might not feel like it. And believe me, those days will come. Building discipline and willpower early on can be a game changer. One of the effective approaches is to commit to a schedule, such as planning to immerse yourself in cold water for 3 days a week. Stick to this schedule religiously, regardless of any reluctance you might initially feel. Trust me, this practice of pushing yourself will pay off in the long run. As you progress and become more accustomed to cold exposure, you will find that your motivation transforms. You won't need external pushes or reminders. Instead, you will genuinely look forward to the experience, driven by positive effects it has on your body and mind. However, it's crucial to always listen to your body and pay attention to how it reacts to cold therapy. If you like this video, you will certainly gain more knowledge from these other videos here. Good luck with your health transformation and stay cool, healthy, and strong.